welcome to the Cutaways podcast. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Justine.
And in our show, we are going to watch romantic comedies on Netflix, because who does not love Netflix? We're going to start with the earliest film we can find, and then have an explorative journey through romantic comedy film genre history. So, take it away, Justine.
All right. Today, we are starting with the earliest one on Netflix from 1918. It's a silent film called I Don't Want to Be a Man.
Oh, dude.
Here's the description. A tomboy, tired of being bullied by her guardian, impersonates a man so she can have more fun, but discovers that being the opposite sex isn't easy. What are your first impressions, Ashley?
I feel like this is a feminist movie in some way, shape, or form, but it was also written by a man. That's my first impression, is that a man was just like, what happens if a woman tried to be a man for a day? I'm like, well, what happens if a man tried to be a woman for a day? But maybe that was a thing that happened back then.
I don't know. I think we're going to find out. Like I said, it's silent. It's only 44 minutes, and it's in black and white. So I think this one is going to be fun and kind of hilarious.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know who's in it. Let's see. Who do I know? Do I know anyone? No?
Ossie Oswalda, Kurt Goetz, and Ferry Sikla. They are not
names that roll off your tongue.
Nope.
At all. I do like that this movie is quirky and romantic at the same time.
Yes, that is what Netflix has defined this movie as quirky from 1918.
From 1918. Did they even use the word quirky in 1918?
I am not sure. They probably used, like, queer.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like Netflix should have thought about that. Is quirky around 1918? I don't know. Netflix doesn't have to be historical in any way, shape, or form, because obviously it's not.
But the images coming up from here are pretty exciting. You got this woman just pointing at a man and pointing at a man, and she's dressed as a man. It's a lot of sass. It
does look like female Charlie Chaplin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, should we watch it?
Yes.
All right, talk to you guys soon.
Bye. All right, so we just got done watching the movie, and that was an interesting piece of cinema.
Yes, it was. It was German, by the way. That's why we couldn't say any of the names.
Yeah.
It's a German film.
I'm sorry, people of my somewhat nationality's homeland, we butchered your language. And we probably will still, because it's very, very difficult.
Yeah, but the restoration did all the title cards were done in English.
Yes.
And it seemed like a pretty modern interpretation of
the wording. A lot of things, like, I guess, just don't translate. Because there were some things in there that just didn't make any sense.
Do you think it was just translation or early 1900s slang as well?
Oh, I definitely think there was some slang in there that you can't really translate. Like the whole bathtub thing that they mentioned early on, like you'll take a cold bath or something like that.
Hope you're ready for a cold bath.
Yeah. And well, Sam was saying, because my fiance Sam watched this with us. He's so gracious for letting us take over. But he was saying that's a term to mean a rude awakening.
Yeah.
But that's something that wouldn't really translate now, or
it's just slang.
Yeah.
Slang of the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so our character, we meet Ossie.
She is very pro dilly-dallying, as they were calling it.
Yeah, I feel she had a bit like Peter Pan syndrome, like, I don't want to grow up.
There was definitely a lot of that. There was also, she wanted all of the benefits and the playfulness of a man being able to leave the house, I feel like. Because I felt like she felt very stuck.
Yeah.
In her house with her governess, who was
Yeah.
very horny.
Yeah, where were... Okay, well, that aside, where were her parents? I don't know if they died in, like, the German Revolution or something. That was not explored.
No.
But she was pretty much an orphan with a guardian and a governess to start out with.
Yes.
And
Well,
she was...
not one governor guardian, but two. There were two governors in this movie, and this movie was 44 minutes long.
Yes.
Would you like to talk about his sudden departure?
Oh, the old governor I feel like he got a job or something. He got a job very far away. So he's like, I gotta go.
Okay.
And they just like ship him off. And we see him, I don't know why. Like we see him on a boat traveling. Like he's not like, we don't need to be in this character's perspective. Like,
yeah, he's gone. He's exited the building.
yeah.
He is like Elvis. He needed to just be done and not referenced to again.
Yeah, it was just very strange how we were attached to his character and we kind of see him leave and we're with him on his journey, but then nothing happens.
Yes. And how it was intercut with her dicking around with her governess.
Yeah, she was being very wild and dancing about.
Yes.
But yeah, for the start of the film, we meet her playing poker.
Oh, yeah.
With some of the gardeners.
Yeah. And she was smoking, too.
Yes.
She was smoking, and she was playing poker, and her governess catches her. Mm-hmm. And this is the pivotal moment in the film where we need to learn crucial things about our character.
Yeah, and there's also, I think, a great line of dialogue in the beginning where she says, I'm drinking my troubles away.
Yes. Which is very accurate. And then her governor comes in and takes the glass away from her, kicks her out of the room, and then pours himself a bigger glass of sherry or whatever it is. Port.
Probably.
Yeah. There was a very nondescript bottle.
Yeah. It's just this whole, like, what do we do with Maria moment. We have this wild child.
Yeah.
The governor leaves, as we mentioned, and then she gets a new governor, a younger guardian.
Yes. When we say governor, we mean guardian, so we're sorry for that.
Yeah, sorry.
It is a very conflicting and confusing movie.
So she gets a new younger guardian who immediately asserts like this power play over her where he's like, stand up and curtsy.
Yes.
Bow lower, like he's doing full king and I power play. You will be this small to me.
Yes. Yes, as if that is going to help the situation in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, he says he's gonna like train her or something like that.
Yes, and then pats her on the head.
Yeah, so she's like a dog.
Yes. I'm really concerned for women in Germany during this time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, they want her to be a lady of good breeding and, you know.
But we don't know her breeding. At this point, who is this woman?
Well, she's this wild child who wants to smoke and play cards with the gardeners.
And drink.
Drink her troubles away.
Yes. But what troubles does she have? Aside from the only trouble that she addressed in the entire time and when she goes to bed, which was, I wish I was born a boy.
Right.
This was the only time that this, like, gender swap was really addressed.
It's the end of Act 1. She's, why wasn't I born a boy?
Yep.
Because she thinks it's so much easier for the fellas.
And she's sitting there with her arms under her chin and her little, like, bow. It looked like a doily. She had a doily on top of her
little
head.
nightcap?
Yeah. What's going on? Oh, that was my phone. Anyway.
I think that's it for Act 1, really.
Yeah, Act 1 was very fast. Act 1 was, like, 6 minutes long.
Yeah. Well, as it should be. I mean, it's not really, like, an inciting incident.
No. But it was trying to be.
Yeah, it's like we kind of know what she wants, but I don't know why she wants it. She just wants life to be easy and carefree.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Which is what any young child
yeah.
would want. So, yes, again, we go back to the whole...
It just doesn't make her, like, so much of an original character. Like, her want is just generic.
I mean, well, from In 1918, it might have been an original character.
Yeah, that's true. There are probably lots of young ladies who wanted to be good, dutiful little angels.
Yes, but also wanted to experience life through their own lens. Like, I definitely get her side of it where she wants to have fun, she wants to be herself, and she doesn't want to conform to these ideals that she has set before her.
She's like a nutcase, though.
I connect with the nutcase.
That's right. She's dancing about, getting piggyback rides.
Yep. Totally for those. Messy room, everything.
Great. Should we move on to Act 2?
Yes. I personally found Act 2 amazing because it started off with shopping. She's just walking into a shop all dolled out in her little furs and her nice little hat. Mm-hmm. And she's talking, and all the boys fawn over her. Yeah. We haven't talked about this. They fall over her.
Yeah, there's always groups of like 10 men, yes. And they're always just like beating each other up just to be noticed by her.
It's like so I had a cat, and when she was in heat, there were like all these tomcats that would come outside of our window. This was before we got her fixed. And it felt like that. It was just like these boys are very attracted to whatever it is that's going on. Like, is it a smell? I don't know. It was just very unrealistic. Because boys don't do that.
No, it was very... It seemed like there were a lot more of them and, like, a lot less of women. You know, They had to fight to get the women. Yeah. It's just, like, men overload. Men, you know.
It's like Germany needed to, like, calm down. The German men definitely needed to calm down.
Yeah. Okay, so she goes shopping, and she asks for an evening suit.
Yes. These are very progressive shopkeepers, because they did not bat an eye.
They were like, yeah, sure. And then the men fought over which part of her, who would get to measure her, who would take the measurements of this lady.
Yes. And they each took a body part.
Yes.
They each were like, okay, I'm going to take this measurement and slowly run down your arm. And as she sticks her hand out to point, she was totally on point for that.
Yeah. She had very lyrical movements through the whole thing.
Yeah.
I feel like her as a person had like some sort of dance background.
Oh, yeah. Or vaudeville. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I looked her up, I didn't find any of that kind of a background, but you could definitely tell that she had a presence just in her body language, which was really... Yes. I like that kind of when they do that, and they really play movies up to their main actor's strengths in silent film, which is really nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay,
so she gets her suit and she goes back home, and she's trying to attach the collar to the dress shirt.
Yeah, I wasn't 100. Was she trying to button it or snap it or what?
It's just some sort of, I don't know how suits work, especially suits back in the day, but the collar is like a separate attachment to the shirt.
It's like plastic, like a form of plastic.
And she had a difficult time attaching it, and she said, "Men don't have it easy."
This was very much a point in time when I was just like, yeah? But women don't have it really easy.
Oh, they don't have it easy running all those countries.
Yeah, all those countries and geez, that horrible snap on the collar.
Oh, God, that's the worst.
The worst. The worst possible thing that could happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the attitude.
Yeah. It was very just interesting.
But I did love, as soon as she was completely dressed as a man, she's fully in costume, she said, "Now the world is my oyster." Brilliant. Brilliant. Because, well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of movies with, like, cross-dressing and stuff where it empowers, like, whoever the opposite gender actor is just like, yes, now I can take on the world.
Yeah. Well, I remember Tootsie. It's always what I think of when I think of cross-dressing movie, because Dustin Hoffman, amazing. He was very in touch with his emotions after that, and he was touched, like he'd learned a lesson by that, and I like when they do that, but I also don't. With this, I was just like, you're going way over the top to try and say men have it so hard, and we're gonna just fawn over them now.
Well, you called it early on when you were like, this was written by men. I could tell you. Haven't watched it yet.
Yes.
And it was.
It was. It was written by a man who, Aussie, the actress, had actually worked with previously. She did 5 movies with him and then moved on. And
wow.
So that was her, I guess this was her 3rd movie with him and her first breakout movie was him. And so it was kind of like a...
Do you know what the reception of this movie was?
I didn't find anything, but let us check the Google.
You check that out.
Okay.
So immediately after she's in her suit, she immediately like seduces her governess, her nanny.
Who wasn't at all concerned that there was a random ass man in her house.
No. She's like, "Ooh, what a charming young man."
This woman really needed to find, like,
she needed to get laid.
Yeah.
Anybody, she was like, "Oh, hello." Anybody walking in her house, she was like, "And you are."
Who is this? And she, like, had, like, the twiddly, like, evil fingers trying to figure out how she was gonna get this man in bed. That was weird.
Yeah.
That was totally weird.
Not appropriate, governess.
No.
I don't know what you're doing.
I don't care what time period you're in. That's a no-no. Yeah, I can't find anything about the reception of the movie.
Well, it was quite a while ago. Okay.
Yes.
So, Aussie then hits the town after, knowing how hot she is.
Yeah, she's definitely hot.
And she's gonna take public transit there, as was,
Was the times.
the mode of transportation.
Yes.
And she's sitting down on the train, and all the men are getting all huffy because there's a woman standing there, and she doesn't realize that she has to stand.
Because chivalry is dead, ladies and gentlemen. She has killed it. That's how they were acting.
They were like, "What?"
Yes.
They were really angry. But I mean, I wish, like, kind of on the bus that still happened. Like, you're not gonna stand up for this elderly lady standing there?
Yeah. I don't know if the lady was elderly
She
in
was
the
just
film, but
a woman.
But yeah, it is nice. Listeners, stand up if you are able-bodied for your elders, because they appreciate it. And we want to give the impression that chivalry is not dead. Man or woman.
Right. And then
Women
they
can be
stepped on her toe.
But she's wearing heels. Did you notice that?
Yes.
The men were wearing all regular man dress shoes, and she was totally wearing heels. She was rocking awesome heels, but she was wearing heels and pantyhose.
And nobody noticed.
No. There's a lot of questions about this movie why no one noticed.
Whatever. It's cool.
Yeah.
So the next thing, she goes to a ball. Of course.
A ball, a German ball, where...
I mean, it's the social highlight of the whole town, probably.
Why wasn't she invited originally?
I don't know her backstory as a woman at all. I only know her the minute I just step into the movie. I don't know what she was doing before.
Well, she was supposed to be going to bed. That was the whole point.
Right.
She was supposed to be going to bed.
She was a good little girl. They go to bed at sunrise.
Yes.
Still up.
But there were women her age at this ball. At least I'm assuming they were her age.
I don't know. She was a bit shorter than the rest of the women there.
Okay. So she was supposed to be, I'm going to gauge.
She probably hadn't, like, come out yet, like, having her come out.
Coming out party?
Right.
Okay. That makes way more sense
and
now.
You're like, I have no idea, but I'm just trying to piece
We're going with
together.
it. This is what we're going with here.
Because she did seem a little younger to me.
Yes.
I don't know where her parents are. I don't know.
Also, I loved when she gets to the ball and they're going to the coat room and they're all like aggressively like hitting each other with their canes like out of the way.
It's just so weird because they just want to hand their coats to the coat check. Why are they like beating each other in front of them? Like, I need to get there first.
Yes. It was wonderful because then it leads to the best line of the entire movie, which is just, man, menfolk are really rough.
Yes, menfolk.
Yes.
They be rough.
They be rough, guys. They be rough.
So this time, I feel like she's not fitting in with women. She's not fitting in with men.
Yeah.
I feel like in a modern movie, she would be just, like, gender identity questioning all around. But that's not this kind of movie.
No, there was no questioning whatsoever. She was a woman in man's clothing.
Yes.
Which was not what we were expecting. Well, I guess it kind of was.
The poster is her in drag kissing the man who we find out is her new guardian.
Yeah.
And that of a poster, it looks like just two men kissing.
Yeah.
Wild times.
Yeah, Germany seems to be pretty, progressive, at least at that point in time. Mm-hmm. After...
yeah, a couple years later, not so much.
No.
But it could be that with, like, a restoration and re-release, I think it got restored in the 2000s, that they might have picked that to be the representative poster on...
Netflix and the DVD and IMDb, yeah.
Yeah, so not sure anything of when that happens, but...
Yeah, because there's, like, very little information.
But, like, why would they pick that image? That's, like, near the end of the movie.
I don't know. Netflix seems to do that a lot, where they like to give away the endings of things.
Oh, they do. They definitely do. I'll tell you that. I am watching Supernatural right now. They show, like, frames from the end, and I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, and that's, like, it kind of is when you're watching, like, a show sequentially, and you're not really, like, taking huge gaps in between. But when you're watching a movie, it's not...
And you see characters kissing. You're just like, okay.
Well, I mean, we knew it was a romantic comedy, so of course there is kissing involved in most romantic comedies, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe.
Unless they don't have lips, but that's a very different concern.
That is a very different concern. Okay, so she gets to the ball. I think she's having kind of a rough time. The women are making fun of her.
Well, and they're also fighting over her, too.
Yeah. The women are totally into her.
Yes, they were following her around, and then they wanted her to dance, and she's like, no, guys, no, just
They were
no.
too rough with her. She was just not having a fun time ever.
No.
Just everybody was just brutal.
Yes. But at this point, it was very evident that she was very Charlie Chaplin-esque.
Yeah.
The physical comedy really ramped up. And, dude, her drunk walk. That was awesome.
We're not there yet.
Oh, okay. We can't get there yet.
Her guardian.
Oh, yeah, he was there.
Her guardian comes to the ball.
He's chilling in the corner, smoking a cigar.
And he's with a lady.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. He was just smoking with a cigar, because that was when the weird, like, smoking swaying came on. Like, do you remember that? I remember, I wrote, where did I write it down? Oh, yeah, synchro swinging. Because they were, like, sitting there, it was right before the act 2 ended, and she finds out that her new governor is there, and she's, like, trying to, like, put on her monocle.
Yeah.
Because apparently that's very difficult, and I am very much okay with that being difficult. And she, like, she looked like she lit a cigarette, or she lit a pipe or something.
Probably a cigarette.
Yeah. And then he's just sitting there smoking, like, swaying back and forth. And then she just starts swaying back and forth, synchronized with him. And then the act ends.
I feel like they were probably dancing to the music that was not the same beat as the music we were.
Yeah.
That was attached to the piece.
Yeah. Well, and also that conductor. Did you notice the conductor?
They cut to the conductor so much, that weird conductor.
Who was conducting with a violin bow?
Yes.
And then you never saw him playing a violin?
He made me, like, strum it twice and then, like, start conducting. It was very weird. He had very creepy eyes.
Yeah, and hair. He had Beethoven hair.
Yeah, I think, Germans.
Yeah.
All right, Act 3?
Act 3. After the ball. Which it really wasn't after the ball.
No, it was, like, during ball.
Yeah.
Still ball.
It was, again, I think it was something that just, they translated accurately to what they were trying, what the German translation is, but I think maybe there was something along the lines of there was
It should have been The Ball Continues or something. Or
Yeah.
I get that they were there. I don't know if the reasons for shooting that they just filmed everything in the daytime, but to me it seemed like they were at the ball all night until the sunrise. So that might have been the sun has risen, we're still at the ball kind of explanation.
I mean, but then you could just open up with this, like, sun rises or something. I don't know. This is way too much.
But the governor is with this lady.
Yeah.
And our gal, Aussie, has a plot.
Oh, yes, to take his lady away from him.
Steal the lady.
Yeah. She was like, there were, what did I call it? I don't remember what I called it when we were watching. It was, catcalling from 1918 with her just across the, like, there was another balcony across, and then you had the ballroom, and then so, like, the balconies were in this U shape, I think is how it was. Mm-hmm. And so she was on the other side, catcalling at this lady. Mm-hmm. And
who was into it.
Oh, yeah. She was like, okay, yeah, like, I like this.
Like,
keep
this
going.
whole movie, everybody was game for everything, is what it was.
Basically, what I have learned is Germans are very horny.
That's what the name of the movie should have been.
Yes. Whatever that is in German, I will call my brother because he took German in freshman year, and he will tell me. Or if we have any German listeners.
Okay, so he's unsuccessful. She's unsuccessful.
Well, no, she's somewhat successful, but it pisses Governor Dude off.
Well, yeah, because he goes over and he's like, why are you trying to steal my lady? That's not cool.
Yeah, he does, like, the chest pump thing. Like,
yeah.
Ugh.
But then while they're bickering, some other dude comes up and totally snakes the girl.
Yeah, but it was like, we're going to do champagne while crossing arms. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, that woman, she just wanted everybody.
Yeah. He was younger. Mm-hmm. He had blonde hair.
Yeah,
It is Germany.
Oh.
In 1918. And now we're getting into some really weird politics.
All right. Well, then the governor was, Aussie was like, but look at us fighting. You just lost your lady. And they're like, oh, well.
Yeah, and then they do, like, several handshakes.
I love it. Whenever anybody shook hands, they do, like, 12.
It was like a bro handshake.
Good day to you, sir. You, sir.
And you, sir, and I'm going to tip my hat to you now. And
yes.
Oh, and here, let us have a smoke. And,
yeah.
Yeah, and then they go off and they drink their champagne.
Yeah, they get hella drunk.
Oh, yeah, like 3 bottles in.
Yeah, they're just like, pour champagne, knock it back. Yeah. Pour champagne, knock it back. They did that like 3 times in a row.
Yeah. And I was like, you are a tiny woman.
Yes.
I realize that this is Germany and this is where Beer Fest was, like, invented, but damn, you are a tiny woman.
Yep. She was pounding them.
Yeah, and then she got, he lit her a cigarette, or...
A cigar.
The cigar, yeah, the cigar.
She didn't like the cigar, but who does?
Well, she kept blowing it out. This was another Charlie Chaplin moment.
Textbook Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah.
While he's trying to light the cigar for her, she keeps blowing it out.
Yeah, on accident.
Well, she's breathing.
Yeah. And so she finally gets it lit, and she, like, takes a few puffs, and then she feels horribly sick. Mm-hmm. Which is displayed by a title card saying, I feel sick.
I'm terribly sick.
Yes.
It's like, how do you feel? Terrible.
Yeah. So then she feels like throwing up, I'm assuming. This is what I got from it. And he helps her, or he tells her to go, like, freshen up, or whatever.
Go take care of yourself.
Yeah, whatever the man version of go freshen up is.
Yeah.
And so she's walking around, and she is terribly confused on which bathroom to go into.
Yeah, she's super wobbly and wasted. She starts heading for the ladies' room, and then this guy's like, no, you need to go this way. Here's the gents.
Yes.
And then she, like, sees the men's room, and she's like, I better not.
Yeah, she, like, turns around, and it's just like, nope. So then they go back, and they drink some more.
Yep. She's like, drinking will make you feel better.
Yes. Which is clearly one of her wants.
Yep.
This was a display.
She wanted to drink her troubles away.
Yeah, she literally drank her troubles away.
Yep.
Well, then she comes back, and the first kiss happens.
Yes. 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 It's a guardian with his, whatever you call...
Your gardenee?
Something like that. Whatever. Power play in that.
Yeah.
Dressed as a young man.
Who he obviously believes is a young man.
Yes.
And was totally into kissing.
Yeah, they were kissing.
Yeah.
Drunk kissing.
Yeah.
Super wasted.
Super wasted, but it's time to go.
Yep.
So they go to the coat check, and the coat check ladies just throw their coats to them.
It's the end of the night. They gotta go.
Well,
it's morning,
it's
actually.
Morning. So we get their coats, and they accidentally coat swap.
Yes. They put their coats on each other. Like, Aussie even puts her coat on him backwards.
Yes.
And he's just like, this is my new style.
He was into it. He was into whatever.
He was. Yes, he was.
He must have been drinking Budweiser, because that is their new slogan, which is up for whatever.
Oh, boy.
He had some nice Budweiser all the way from St. Louis, Missouri in 1918.
So they catch a carriage.
What happened there? Oh no, carriage cuddling. That's what happened. That's what I'm trying to
they
get
catch
to.
a carriage.
Yeah.
And they they totally snuggle up in the back seat and just fall asleep.
Yeah, it was not like cutesy like little boy cuddling. No, this was full on like in a relationship cuddling.
Head on chest.
Yeah. Yeah. There was some chest nuzzling.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's more. Wait, there's more kissing.
Oh yeah, it's a couple
and
more.
they're like heavy kissing at this point.
Yeah.
For those standards, not our standards, because our standards are so low in comparison.
Right, but they pass out, and the driver doesn't know where to bring them, so he checks their coats for their identification. But he's wearing Aussie's coat.
Yeah, and so they take him to Aussie's house and her to his house.
Right. And they end up in each other's beds.
Yeah, somehow. And he has her little nightcap on, her doily.
Yeah.
Her lovely doily.
I don't know. Yeah. It's this weird slow part I felt in the movie where they're like really passed out and other people are like, what's going on? But they're like not in it yet. They're not.
It would have been better had they just passed out at the ball.
Yeah.
Because, one, I'm really concerned for this governess, because she did not she did not know of this random little boy being in her house. And then she goes to wake up Aussie, and it's, like, obviously a dude.
Yeah, bigger than her dude.
Yeah.
Covered in blankets, but
has her doily on, so obviously it's still... He even has a different hair color than her. This woman needs to get her glasses checked. Clearly, there is some problems here. Yes. But would you say that her new guardian is somewhat gay or bisexual in some way?
I'd say, yeah, he's definitely, he's not confining himself to...
Yeah. No.
He likes what he likes.
Yeah, and that's totally okay. I'm cool with you, bro.
Yeah. It's just...
Very progressive for a movie made in 1918. Not something I would have expected at all.
So they finally wake up at each other's places.
Yes.
And I think they're kind of startled. They get shoved out.
Well, Aussie is, like, sprawled across the bed in full clothing and pantyhose and heels, still on. She obviously did not have to go to the bathroom or throw up anymore.
Yep.
And the butler totally, like, didn't question her being there.
He was just like, here you go.
Yeah. There was no logical questioning in this movie.
Just everybody always ends up at everybody else's house.
Yes. And it's okay. Like, doors are unlocked. Okay, yeah. We're just free for all here.
So they do their wake up. I call it, like, the walk of shame. But it was the run home.
The run of shame.
The run home of shame.
Yeah, because she stumbles out of his house. Mm-hmm. She's like, I want my governess, and Butler is just like, okay, bro.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't know what she's talking about, I'm assuming. And it's just like, get the fuck out of our house. Just get out. And then she, stumbles onto the sidewalk and then fully sprints. Mm-hmm. Hauls ass down the street in her heels.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Yeah. I mean, Bryce Dallas Howard must have had something right in Jurassic World. Mm-hmm. Because, damn, girl could move. Mm-hmm. And you couldn't do that. I would fall and hurt. But, yeah, so we get to the house, and as she's entering, mm-hmm. her guardian is leaving.
Yeah, and he's all like, what are you doing here?
Yeah. And then they handshake again.
Yeah, and he's like, don't tell anybody about last night.
Yeah. Oh, because Aussie says she's going to see her cousin.
Yeah.
Because that's obviously why her male half would be there.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yes, please do not tell anyone of our adventures last night.
Yeah. Keep it on the down low.
Yeah.
It's just very weird. Very weird.
Yes. It's just a very confusing film.
So Aussie goes up to her room and she takes off her wig and stuff.
Yeah, and her hair does something.
She had really bad wig hair at this point.
I don't even think it was wig hair. It was just all of a sudden she had this weird mullet. Yeah. Where she had the pin curls on the front half of her head and then just string down the rest.
Bad hair day, girl.
Yeah, a major bad hair day. But he was not. He was totally into it. He was totally into anything.
I forget. Why was the governor... The governor then ran into the governess?
Oh, yeah. Because she was pissed because Aussie, who she assumed was Aussie, wouldn't get out of bed.
Right.
And so she was just like, I'm going to call your governor and have him set you into line and blah, blah, blah. And then she calls his house and she talks to the butler and the butler's like, I don't know where he is. He must be in the bathtub.
Yeah. Very weird.
Lots of bathtub references in this movie.
Yeah. It's gotta be a thing.
But she was like, oh, he's in the bathtub.
Oh my god, yes. She was totally like, ooh, bathtub.
Shivers.
I'm like, oh my god.
And she clutched the phone to her breast as if...
I don't know what this film is saying about women.
It was written by a man, so it was totally confused as to what women are in general.
Yeah.
It's like he never had a conversation with a woman ever.
Okay, so the governor goes to wake up Aussie.
Yes.
And he sees her there. She's still in her tails, her tucks and tails.
Yes. And he's like, you!
And she's like, ha 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 ha, it was me.
It was me all along.
And I don't know. Then there's this just emotions. I don't even know. There stopped being cards explaining what was happening. There were just full ranges of emotions from everybody. And I'm like, what?
At one point I felt like he was headbanging and I didn't know why or what was happening.
I'm like, how do they feel about this? I don't know.
Clearly he's excited.
Yeah.
I mean, at least now their relationship can be, okay in that form of that time's society.
Yeah, but he's her guardian.
And she, I would like to know, if anybody knows, what the rules with that are and how young she had to be.
Yeah, that's true. Well, definitely of today's standards, I'm like, rape, 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 right there.
Especially with his creepy Joker smile.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, so I don't know what the emotions were, but in the end it turned out to be positive.
Well, they were jumping on top of the bed.
Yes.
And there was kissing.
They were very happy that it was her all along or something.
Yeah. And then she says the title of the movie.
Yeah, well then she does a complete role reversal from the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
Where I think she's kind of holding it against him that he was with the man the night that he's into men or something like that.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm gonna make you feel small.
Yeah, that's what he said to her at the beginning, so completely, she's got the power now.
Yeah. But he's very excited. He's not, like, downtrodden or anything.
He's just like, okay.
Yeah. I mean...
You win. Yeah, and then...
Yeah.
She says, I don't want to be a man.
Yeah.
And then, like, he's patting her head, though. Like, I feel like he's like, well...
You're trained. We've trained you now.
Yeah. It's very, very weird power scenarios happening.
Yeah. And it wasn't like she gained any power, really.
No, she did the drag thing for one night.
Yeah.
She was loved by men and women. She
clearly has all the power, somewhat of power already. She just can't.
She has, like, sexual power.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm trying to get to. Yeah, she has that. She clearly has that, especially, we didn't really talk about it, but at the beginning, where she's sitting at the window because she's been sent to her room, and all of the boys just kind of, like, crab walk into frame. And are, like, swinging their canes and are like, we're gonna sing you a song.
Yeah, they serenade her.
Yeah.
And then they say, we want something sweet from you. And I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah. So she starts throwing chocolate pieces at them, I guess.
And they're catching them in their mouths.
Yeah.
So weird. So weird.
Yeah. So, I mean, she clearly has a form of power. It's not necessarily the power that she was really expecting. And she didn't really change all that much. She was still very...
She got a boyfriend.
Yeah, that's all it was. I don't know if this was... I mean, it was definitely a comedy, but I didn't feel romance blooming. I felt like this dude really wanted this other little dude, and now he finds out that this little dude is a little girl, and he's totally okay with that, so he's just like, okay.
And I feel like he's gonna have her dressing up on the weekends.
Oh, yeah. Like, there's some definite cross-dressing going on in that relationship.
Yeah.
I think he wants to try on her heels, too.
We'll see. I mean, all the power to him if she's into that, but it didn't seem like she was into that anymore. So,
no.
I kind of feel a little bad.
Yeah, I feel bad for both of them.
It's not the feeling you want to feel when you watch a romantic comedy.
No, it's really not. It was kind of like, well, he can't be with who he wants to be because of the times, and so he's gonna settle for the girl, and the girl is not gonna be relatively happy about it. I don't know. After watching The Imitation Game last night, I'm totally like... It's like when you see a man having to settle for the things that he emotionally can't connect to. Like, for me as a woman, I want a man who can emotionally connect to and can show his emotions and can be a human being, not just a man. I don't want just a brick of muscle and disgusting behaviors.
Right. So would you call this movie a feminist film?
I think it has potential for that. I don't think that it really is. I don't think it was necessarily from today's standpoint of feminism. It was going for more of a... I don't know.
I feel like it was told via the lens of a man, to me.
Yes, it was.
Every time she tried to do something, even the slightest bit, like just putting on the collar, she was like, oh my god, it's so exhausting being a man. It's the worst.
But at the same time, I didn't really get a sense of her, like, overt femininity or... I mean, I guess
she was a tomboy.
Yes, she really was a tomboy. And so by that standard, I could see it being... I don't know how many films from that time period featured women who had man traits or characteristics or characterized that way. So for me, just thinking about it from that time period, I don't think that there would be a lot of roles like that for women where they are being able to kind of
explore their identity.
Yes. Which I did feel like she could.
Mm-hmm.
She had that, there, like, that potential thing. Like, she had the potential, it had the potential to be feminist in a way, or it's a subtle there. Because men can be feminists, too. So I'm not trying to say, oh, no, this dude was trying to put a woman back in her place.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, there were definite signs of the woman belongs here, kind of. But
it was just very, to me, it was very set up to be the opposite. I don't know what I'm saying now.
The opposite. Like, it was set up to be that she was going to learn that being, or it's set up to have you show sympathy for the man's point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of sympathy to the men.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the movie was, because we did do a little bit of research, the movie did come out was made during a feminist movement in Germany. So I think that maybe the subtleness comes in from Aussie herself,
mm-hmm.
and possibly the director-writer. Because I felt like there was tinges of it, but it wasn't overt.
All right. Have you said everything in your notes?
Yeah. I think so.
You want to wrap this up? What do you give this as a rating, Ashley?
Without knowing much of the times and coming from a modern point of view of filmmaking, I give it a 3 out of 5, I think. I did like it. I connected with her, strangely. I thought she was an interesting character, and I really liked the fact that it was like a female version of Charlie Chaplin, because you don't see that, or you don't hear about that being a thing. So, and I'm a sucker for vaudeville, so.
I'd give it like a 2.5 pop collars.
Ooh, I like it.
Well, because it was enjoyable and funny through most of it. Just the end just really, like, creeped me out. Like, I don't know what they were going for at the end.
Yeah, I don't either. Like, was it maybe she found that she could be a tomboy but also be a woman? I don't know. Did she really find a boyfriend? What did she find?
All she said was, I don't want to be a man. Like, she started saying her initial thing was, I want to be a boy. Yeah. And then at the end, she's like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, but it didn't really, she didn't really experience anything about being a man.
Right. I think she had a great time. She got a boyfriend.
Yeah. Well, and she got to knock it back. She got to have a cigar. She got to dance. She got mm-hmm. to be fawned over by men and women.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think there's something at the end that just misses its mark for me.
Yeah. And maybe that's lost in translation.
There it is. All right, so next week we'll be watching 1930s Be Yourself.
We're going with themes here.
All right, thank you for listening to us at the Cutaways.
The Cutaways. Bye.